fuck all the way off. Big bigot man barking, talking shit all night. Crying about who's woke, preaching white makes right. Shitting on the poor, kissing rich man's ass. You're not just a sheep, you're a snake in the grass. I need you to fuck all the way off. Take your lies and your trash and fuck all the way off. Take your childish games and fuck all the way off. Yeah, fuck all the way off. I need you to fuck all the way off. Take your bigot bullshit and fuck all the way off. Just catch fire and fuck all the way off. Yeah, fuck all the way off. Attacking queer kids, peeping in people's pants. Policing cocks and pussies in your creepy fucking rants. Racist, fascist, hog in a suit. We see your hood, bitch, and we see your salute. I need you to fuck all the way off. Take your lies and your trash and fuck all the way off. Take your childish games and fuck all the way off. Yeah, fuck all the way off. I need you to fuck all the way off. Take your bigot bullshit and fuck all the way off. Just catch fire and fuck all the way off. Yeah, fuck all the way off. Yodelay, 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 yodelody, 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 yodelay, 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 yodelody, yodelody, yodelody. You need a karmic beat down. All the way. You need to shut that shit down. All the way. You're such a fucking ass clown. All the way. I hope you catch a smackdown. Fuck all the way off. I need you to fuck all the way off. Take your bigot bullshit and fuck all the way off. Just catch fire and fuck all the way off. Yeah, fuck all the way off. Yodelay, 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 hoo. Yodelody, 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 yeah. Yodelay, 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 hoo. Yodelody, 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 yeah. Fuck your people, fuck them too. Fuck your belief, fuck that too. Fuck your whole self, fuck you. Fuck everything about you. Fuck all the way off.
He had a Nazi
but not
streak?
for Mamdani?
"Quote unquote," I was on a Nazi streak.
Globalize the Intifada. We just saw in Australia, brother. If you can't condemn it today, and if you can't get moral clarity on globalizing the Intifada.
See, that's how fucking stupid Scott Jennings is. And that is like the dumbest, laziest argument that these people always make. And it's like, oh, well, here, this person didn't set aside time out of their day to make a comment that I liked. about this very specific incident. So there. Kind of like someone tried to do to me earlier. Oh, you've got a problem with Caroline Levitt having a 32-year age gap with her husband, but you haven't said anything about Dick Van Dyke? Man. There's hardly anybody left who even knows who Dick Van Dyke is. And even fewer who are like that engaged in his love life and married life. I did not even know Dick Van Dyke had a significant other. I mean, I saw a video of him dancing the other day to celebrate, like, what was it, his 99th birthday, 100th birthday, something like that. It was this video he was in with, that singer guy. Oh, God. Can't remember the name. Some singer, British singer guy, I think. Pretty sure. Fucking drawing a blank on his name. But yeah, I saw him dancing in that video. And it's like, oh, I had forgotten about Dick Van Dyke, you know, until this. And then people talking about how old he was. Oh, he's having another birthday, so that's pretty amazing. But yeah, no, not that engaged in his love life. Probably because, like, he's not out there, you know. However, with Caroline Levitt, I mean, she's putting her shit in the news. Like, oh, look, I'm pregnant again, and I'm married to a guy old enough to be my fucking dad, and da-da-da-da-da. You know, she's putting that out there. So it's very vastly different. But I have fucking digressed. Like 3 counties over. But anyway. Yeah, Scott Jennings is using that same tactic. Oh, well, how can I take you seriously if this person hasn't, you know, made a comment I approve of about this very specific matter? Well, have you been with them all day, every day? No, that they haven't said anything at all about, you know, this, that, the other. You've been following them around to make sure they haven't said anything. I mean, you know, like Zoran Mamdani doesn't have to, you know, unlike a certain diva in the White House, he doesn't have to, like, get a fucking press conference and a string of fucking tweets together for every little thought that enters his head. Scott Jennings is just such a deeply unserious, childish moron. And I fucking hate CNN for always bringing him on, because it's like, if you're going to bring a MAGA guy on, at least find one who's, which I doubt there's any that exist, but someone like more intelligent and more mature than him. Because watching people trying to reason and debate with Scott Jennings, it's no different than watching like an adult trying to like reason and debate with a fucking like 9-year-old. And in the end, they're just going to tell you you have cooties. No, woke mind virus, TDS. I mean, like, God, they've got a million ways to tell you you have cooties. They don't have anything mature or intelligent to say.
Today, let me just hit.
In this video, progressive Adam Mockler joins Abby Phillips' CNN panel.
Well, because the mayor of New York did not set aside time to hold a press conference to let us know what his thoughts are on the incident in Australia, I cannot take the Democrats seriously. Well, it's because you're a fucking toddler, man. You even make faces when you do the tone.
Panel to go up against the far-right mega clown Scott Jennings, whom I love to hate. The topic of this debate is the MAGA civil.
I can't even get invested enough in Jennings to like legitimately hate him. And it's just because he's just so deeply unserious and stupid. It's like Scott Jennings is here so he doesn't have to get a real job.
War and racism
Period.
within the MAGA movement. As you might imagine, things get pretty heated, and I think Adam Mockler is among the...
Oh, that's what was going on? People were asking him about the war going on in MAGA world, so he had to deflect to Zoran Mamdani. That would be typical of dumbass Scott Jennings, to just like, oh yeah, well, you know, you bring up you bring up the price of tea in China, but what about all the kangaroos in Australia? There's like so many kangaroos there. There's like 3 kangaroos for every man.
best at triggering Scott Jennings. Let's check it out together. I'm going to have my opinions to add as we go, and then I want to know what you think about it in the comments.
Tonight, we are getting a fresh glimpse into the deep divisions that are splintering President Trump's MAGA coalition. There is bitter infighting that exploded at that Turning Point USA annual convention over the weekend, and it exposed some serious rifts over things like conspiracy theories, bigotry, anti-Semitism, and extremist views. Some of MAGA's biggest stars threw jabs at each other, including Ben Shapiro, who called out his fellow right-wing podcaster Tucker Carlson over his interview with outspoken white nationalist and Holocaust denier Nick Fuentes.
The conservative movement is also in danger from charlatans who claim to speak in the name of principle, but actually traffic in conspiracism and dishonesty. And the people who refuse to condemn Candace's truly vicious attacks, and some of them are speaking here, are guilty of cowardice. He knew that Nick Fuentes is an evil troll, and that building him up is an act of moral imbecility. And that is precisely what Tucker Carlson did.
Carlson wasn't too happy with that, while other MAGA heavyweights were quick to take sides.
To hear calls for like deplatforming and denouncing people at a Charlie Kirk event, I'm like, what? This is hilarious.
Let's face it, Ben Shapiro is the farthest thing from MAGA. Ben Shapiro is like a cancer, and that cancer spreads.
I found it kind of funny that Ben thinks he has the power to decide who gets excommunicated from the conservative movement.
Vice President J.D. Vance also took the stage on the final day of the conference, and he addressed this friction head on.
I didn't bring a list of conservatives to denounce or to deplatform. I know some of you are discouraged by the infighting over any number of issues. Don't be discouraged. Wouldn't you rather lead a movement of free thinkers who sometimes disagree than a bunch of drones who take their orders from George Soros?
So fundamentally, this is about whether or not there should be boundaries to the conservative movement, Scott. And I mean, there are all kinds of other issues, and I will get to some of them, including the rift over Israel, which is a part of this. But really what Megyn Kelly is saying, what Tucker Carlson is saying, what Steve Bannon is saying, is that no one should say who's in or out. Is that really what some people believe in the conservative movement right now?
Well, it depends on who they're talking about. I mean, they obviously have a disagreement with Ben Shapiro about certain things. I think it goes to the Israel issue when it comes to Ben. Ultimately, it'll be up to the nominee of the party in 28 to sort of build his own coalition, which is why J.D. Vance's positioning here is important. I will just note that, you know, for all the talk of rift, if you look at the straw poll results that they took among the 30,000 people who were there, 87% of them said that Israel was either our top ally or an ally of the United States. Only 13% said no. And the number one issue facing the United States, according to the respondents, was radical Islam. And so there seemed to be actually not that much of a rift when it came to the positioning. I think they're
so
fighting over any number of issues. Don't be discouraged. Wouldn't you rather lead a movement of free thinkers who sometimes disagree than a bunch of drones who take their orders from George Soros?
Well, there you go. There's your irony. There's your irony. Oh, wait, I've got to say the George Soros line. To show how independent free thinkers we are, I've got to say the George Soros line to get to pop the crowd. George Soros? Yeah! I mean, seriously. Yes. We're just a big tent of all these differing opinions and ideas. Oh, wait, I've got to say the George Soros line that we all say. Even though whatever Donald Trump thinks, you think. Whatever he feels, you feel. Whatever he likes, you like. Whatever he doesn't like, you don't like. And it's even evident in the way Donald Trump communicates with his cult, because like every tweet, it's like this grocery list of fucking buzzwords and catchphrases and talking points. You know, everybody, transgender for everyone, Russia, 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 drill, baby, drill. You know, just strings all these things together, catchphrases and buzzwords. It would be like if Coca-Cola... It would be like if Coca-Cola did a commercial where they just had someone come on and just like shard out every Coca-Cola slogan that's ever existed as if it was a conversational sentence. Yeah, be the equivalent of that.
So fundamentally, this is about whether or not there should be boundaries to the conservative movement.
And isn't that crazy? Like, you know, the Democrats let this one man do all their thinking for them. But yet, when you look at the Democrats, like, we don't agree with it. We can't even agree on what's we're going to put on a pizza. We can't even agree enough to do, like, a fucking... to order a meal to share. And that's the thing. And normally they would be pointing out, you know, shit like that. But then when it comes, and this is the thing, Republicans, they just say shit. Like, seriously, literally, they just say shit. They just shit out words. Don't really mean anything. They just shit out words. And this is a perfect example, because it's just, you know, they got to do, oh, I got to say the Soros line. I mean, it's going to be like 100 years from now, they're still going to be saying that Soros shit. And it's like, but then you look at them. Is there this one rich guy who is controlling the entire party and everyone in it, and everyone bows down to his will, and they say what he says, and they think what he thinks, and they feel what he feels, and he tells them what to think and feel and say and do? Is there that on the right? Yes, there is. His name is Donald fucking Trump.
Scott. And, I mean, there are all kinds of other issues, and I will get to some of them, including the rift over Israel, which is a part of this. But really what Megyn Kelly is saying, what Tucker Carlson is saying, what Steve Bannon is saying, is that no one should say who's in or out. Is that really what some people believe in the conservative movement right now?
Well, it depends on who they're talking about. I mean, they obviously have a disagreement with Ben Shapiro about certain things. I think it goes to the Israel issue when it comes to Ben. Ultimately, it'll be up to the nominee of the party in 28 to sort of build his own coalition, which is why J.D. Vance's positioning here is important. I will just note that, you know, for all the talk of rift, if you look at the straw...
He said the Soros line. He made sure to say the Soros line. That's important. You got to say the Soros line.
Poll results that they took among the 30,000 people who were there, 87% of them said that Israel was either our top ally or an ally of the United States. Only 13% said no. And the number one issue facing the United States, according to the respondents, was radical Islam. And so there seemed to be actually not that much of a rift.
And there you go. There you go. So we've got a hive mind when it comes to Israel, and we've got a hive mind when it comes to Islam.
When it came to the audience, there may have been...
But, you know, it's the Democrats who, you know, they just let one guy do all their thinking for them.
Some fighting among personalities on stage, but there was pretty clear-eyed view of being able to tell the difference between who our friends and our enemies are among the attendees.
But I mean, should there be boundaries? Should someone be able to go up on that stage and say, if you believe these things, you are not part of our movement?
Well, look, my personal view is that this was an event. It's the first big rally since Charlie got murdered. And specifically what Candace has been doing, terrorizing a grieving widow for the last several months with conspiracy theories, some of them wrapped up in this whole Israel nonsense, is nothing short of despicable. And I think Ben was right to call that out. I didn't hear Ben calling for the excommunication or the deplatforming of anyone, but I do think it's more than reasonable to say, what kind of a movement allows someone in whose job is to monetize the grief of a widow after she had to witness her husband?
Well, that's funny. It's wrong to monetize the grief of a widow. Like when you go on this big fucking celebrity fucking appearance tour with your fucking fireworks and your rave music.
Husband and the leader of this organization get murdered. I think that's more than in bounds for him to talk about. Look, we're a political party and a political movement. We're not a sponge. You don't have to absorb everything that oozes in under the door. I think that was Ben's point. And look, everybody's going to have a right to say whatever they want. It's not about free speech. It's about what sort of speech you want to be identified with. I, for one, don't really want to be identified with someone who is terrorizing a grieving widow.
Yeah, and we'll get to how Vance plays into this because you mentioned it. But the New York Times wrote this: in the depths of these Republican divisions has been obscured by two things: shared affection for Trump and a shared revulsion at the left. But Trump is no longer on the ballot, and there's increased alarm over the new right. These two factors are working together to shrink the Republican tent.
Now, Adam Mockler has a great response to this that's coming up next. So I'm going to keep this brief, but I do want to say a couple of things about this first segment. This idea of a MAGA civil war, as delicious as it is to us on the left to see, it was really inevitable. I mean, right? These are despicable people. When you take...
Well, you could even go back to fucking 2015, 2016. You'll see me making comments. and I've been talking about it since he started running. That, yeah, it's got to reach not just a boiling point, but an boiling over point, an exploding point at some point, because you can only only do this shit. It's the law of diminishing returns and its purity test. You know, it's like you have to keep the audience engaged and on your side. And like, that's why Trump had to start doing the batshit crazy rants again, because like, he's old and he's tired and he's dumb. So he starts getting lazy with his tweets and the way he speaks, and and like I remember like watching him do an endorsement during his first term. He was coming into the midterms and he was trying to get people to vote for all these candidates, and I started pointing out he's saying the exact same thing about every fucking candidate. He doesn't even know who these fucking people are. He's just saying the same damn shit about every fucking candidate. And it's like, that's so lazy. And then sure enough, he's standing on a stage and he's speaking into a mic and he's like, and vote for so-and-so because they love Trump. They want to make America great again. They're tough on crime. They're blah, 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 closed borders, etc., etc. And he actually said that. Like, he was going through his list of catchphrases and shit. And he just goes, and he's like, and they're tough on crime, etc. and then just like moved on, like so fucking lazy and tired. He didn't even bother doing the whole speech. He just figured at that time, well, I own everybody. They're my property, so I don't even have to say the whole thing, etc. You know the spiel. I repeated it a million fucking times. And like, and all of a sudden, you know, because like a lot of people on like me on the left were like making fun of it, the right was forced to address it. And that's when some people are like, wow, he's starting to get a little tired, da 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 da. And then all of a sudden, batshit fucking crazy rant started again. Because he's got to keep the audience entertained.
Take away the Democratic Party in power for them to rail against. What they're left with are these sort of specters of like, oh, well, what about Biden? What about Obamacare? All these problems are the previous Democratic administrations. And it rings really hollow, right? Because they have control of both the House and the Senate and the presidency. And they're not fixing things because they don't have a plan. And they have no appetite for fixing things. They say they're going to fix things. They got a great plan. Of course they don't. We all know this. But what you really see on display here is it's just the absolute hypocrisy of all of this. Scott Jennings, you know, the king of being disingenuous, when he talks about Candace Owens monetizing the grief of a widow, I'm not disagreeing that Candace Owens is doing that. But that's the MO of the whole thing, right? He wrote a book about these right-wing propaganda talking points. They're all cashing in. It's a race to the bottom. They all cash in on it. If it's Trump selling sneakers or Bibles, you know, you identify whatever you think is going to chime with whatever class of sucker is going to buy it and use it because one can't take it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all the immigrants' fault. What about me? They're coming to replacement. Screwing irony without any sense of awareness that they have done this to themselves. And just like if you put a bunch of rats in a box and starve them, they will eat each other. That is what we are seeing here. All right. Now for Adam Mockler's excellent response.
Yeah, you said J.D. Vance, his opinion is important. He has had no moral clarity about any of this division whatsoever. He refused to condemn the Young Republican group chat when it came out a few months ago. They were talking about gas chambers. He's refused to condemn Paul and Gracia. He's refused to directly combat the Groyper movement growing. I just think it's like my entire life, Republicans have been targeting minority group after minority group. Conservatives have been getting rich and gaining power off of this, targeting immigrants, targeting LGBTQ people, women, it's been Somalis, Haitians, but the second that certain MAGA commentators are now the subject of this exact type of bigotry, they have a stunning amount of moral clarity about it. Vivek Ramaswamy only had moral clarity when anti-Indian American hatred was being spread. Republican Representative Randy Fine has a lot of moral clarity about bigotry when it's against him, but the way that he talks about Zohran Mamdani, the way he talks about Ilhan Omar is incredibly contradictory. You can't just stop bigotry from entering your movement when it's hitting you. You have to stop it at the door. This is not courageous for people to speak out. It is self-preservation at this point.
You brought up Mamdani. Do you believe that Mamdani has shown any moral clarity when it comes to Israel and the attacks on
Jews? The day after he was elected, there was a swastika. Let me finish. There was a swastika drawn on a window, and he immediately tweeted out and condemned it. There is no equivocation between there is no equivalent between the way Zohran and J.D. Vance have conducted themselves.
So
do you think J.D. Vance should condemn Nick Fuentes? Should J.D. Vance condemn the Groypers?
He has. He told him he could eat SHIT. That's
not on stage. He didn't do it on stage in front of the Groypers.
Today, Mamdani got asked, you know, there are people on your transition team who have said it's okay to kill Jews after October the 7th. And he said, well, you know, we have a diversity of political opinion. I think to throw Mamdani in.
That is so fucking dishonest. That is so dishonest and disingenuous. That's not even how that went down. See, he's such a toddler. He's such a child. That's not even how that went down. It wasn't even like, is it okay to kill Jews after October? Because, I mean, like, who would ask that question? Like, that's not even a question someone would ask. But it was, God, if I could remember specifically how it went, but I'm just going to generalize the fuck out of it. Like, he was being asked, well, what about the people who don't like Israel? And that's the thing. Like, Scott, in his mind, Israel and the Jews are one and the same. And they've all said that. Even Trump has done, and it's weird because like Jewish people used to get really, really upset when people tried to do the whole dual loyalty. Oh, they're loyal to Israel first and foremost, and blah, 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 blah. Because that was like something that like the Nazis really fucking drove home. Well, this is why you can't trust the Jews. Because they're only loyal to Israel. And like the Republicans, like they just lean all the way into that. And I guess like the most prominent Jewish people now, at least the most prominent and loudest and visible ones, are like totally cool. And they're like, yeah, he's right. We are loyal to Israel and first and foremost. And like they're leaning into all these tropes that they used to call anti-Semitic tropes. It's so fucking weird. But no, it's like he's asked, like, what about these people that are, don't like Israel? And Zoran's like, well, I mean, it's like a fucking big tent party. There's a lot of people with a lot of opinions. Some people are pro-Israel, some people don't like Israel. But, like, I'm sure both have fucking, some valid points to the way they feel, which, But jeez. But no, Scott, because he's a fucking toddler, because he's fucking 12 years old in his fucking head. He's got to speak like this fucking absurd fucking toddler because he has nothing of intelligence or substance to offer anyone. He's not smart enough to have an intelligent conversation. And I wish Adam Mockler would have thrown that out.
And with J.D. Vance is a huge reach. Mamdani has been the opposite of morally clear on.
Are you joking, J.D. Vance? Let me ask you this, because I think this is actually
very much not joking.
This is actually to Adam's point. If you are willing to condemn, let's say,
and look at the way Scott's speaking. Well, instead of talking about how my people won't denounce Nazis to their face, let's talk about this other completely unrelated Israel.
If you're willing to condemn Mamdani for what you just described,
Israel anti-Semitism, Israel
again, why would you not condemn conservatives for doing effectively the same thing when you have people like,
look,
Nick Fuentes?
But I've got to go into childish mode. But what are you even talking about? What are you even? Neither of my 2 IQ points knows what you're talking about right now, ma'am. I mean, that just does not exist on my side. My team is perfectly perfect. Oh.
Are you questioning me about what I've had to say about anti-Semitism and who should be?
You need clarity about people like Paul and Gracia.
I'm questioning you about whether you're willing to apply the same principle to Mamdani that you would apply to people in your own party. Are you willing to do that?
I have repeatedly on this show said anti-Semitism has no place in our political discourse, and we don't need to be associated with it.
So for the people like J.D. Vance who say, oh, well, we have a lot of different viewpoints in the Republican tent, and who am I to say who is in and who is not? He just mentioned the Republican group chat, and that was effectively J.D. Vance's point, which is that these are just boys. Boys will be boys. Yeah. They're just young men. We're not going to denounce them. We're not going to denounce them over little mistakes. Are you okay with that?
J.D. Vance is going to have ample opportunity to lead this coalition.
No, but I'm asking about you.
Let me completely deflect from what was just asked because I am not smart enough to carry on an intellectual conversation. I don't even know why I'm on this show. You, buddy?
Well,
condemn
I'm
it.
asking about you. Are you okay with that?
Everybody-
Just in the same
well,
way that
continue
you
the
are
beatings
not
and then I'll
okay
answer.
with Mamdani. That's what I'm at. I get that J.D. Vance is J.D. Vance, but I'm wondering about you. What's the principle that you apply to J.D. Vance? And is it the same as what you're applying to Mamdani?
Well, I don't put them anywhere near in the same universe, A. B, look, it is up to us as conservatives to decide who we want to be associated with. I can assure you, we do not want to be associated in any way, shape, or form with Nick Fuentes or anybody approximating what he has to say. Period. Full stop. It will destroy us if we do it.
I wish J.D. Vance would say the same thing.
Tim.
I was going to say, I completely agree. There's been several leaders in the conservative movement who've pushed back on all these talking points about anti-Semitism, and I will completely agree with Scott.
He's
There is no
another deeply
place in the
unserious
conservative
person.
movement or in the Republican Party, for that matter, for anti-Semitism or any of those things.
Now, we already know this,
However,
but
George
Tim
Soros-
Parrish is being incredibly disingenuous here, and this is part of the propaganda, right? He's about to sort of do a version of however, right? He says, well, we the Republican, the right wing condemns anti-Semitism in all its form. However, right? So you gotta watch for those butts when they pop up. But what he really is talking about here is, you know, J.D. Vance. They're like, oh, well, J.D. Vance condemns it. J.D. Vance condemns it. The clip we saw earlier is J.D. Vance saying, I'd rather be part of a movement of free thinkers than a bunch of drones who follow the orders of George Soros, right? So this idea of pointing out George Soros, of raising the specter of George Soros, is in itself an anti-Semitic trope.
is.
And they would say, well, I'm not because he's a Jewish person, but because he is a globalist. He's a kind of a left-wing puppet master. Right. It's code. Which leads me to something else I've talked about on here before, is a form of stochastic terrorism. So I've talked about stochastic terrorism in relationship to political violence in this country, where you can say, oh, these are very bad people. They're trying to ruin the country. We got to fight like hell or we're not going to have a country anymore. You're not calling for specific violence against a specific person. You're saying this whole group of people are actively trying to ruin your lives and ruin this country, and boy, oh boy, something's got to be done. Something rough. Who will rid me of this meddlesome priest, right? Unfortunately, stochastic terrorism is a method of propaganda that raises the temperature of things and foments anti-Semitic or violent impulses without being able to be held legally accountable for it. And they, on the right, like under people like Steve Bannon and Stephen Miller, this is all in lockstep. Jon Stewart frequently will do a montage of like all the different talking heads on Fox News saying literally the same thing. This is very much a coordinated propaganda effort.
I do find it ironic, though, that you compare the vice president, who has, in fact, your litmus test was that he went on Twitter and you just said the vice president didn't condemn something from the stage. The vice president condemned the group chat. We've talked about this on this show, and you guys are completely.
He called this. He called
Wait a second. You said, let me finish earlier. Let me finish.
Okay.
You said that
Tim,
the
we've
vice
talked about
president.
this on this
we
show,
did,
and you
and
did
you guys
not
are
condemn the group
mischaracterizing
chat.
the statements that the vice president made. He absolutely came out and condemned and said that there is no place for any comments like that in the Republican Party.
J.D. Vance said he's going to warn his kids so some quote-unquote scumbag doesn't leak a group chat in a similar way. He was implying the person who leaked the group chat was a scumbag. J.D. Vance has had the farthest thing from moral clarity this entire time. And listen, do you know who Paul Ingrassia is?
Sure.
Do you know who Paul Ingrassia is?
Yeah, we've debated it.
Do you know what? Okay, so do you know what Paul Ingrassia said?
Yeah, we've debated
That
it.
he has a Nazi streak. Oh, you've debated it, but has Trump fired him, or is he still a part of the administration?
I don't know where he is right now.
He's a part of the administration, and you know that. You're lying right now. You know that he is a part of the administration. He is still there, and he said he, quote, has a Nazi streak. So you can sit there and play coy, but you are not having the clarity that you are talking about right now. Do you condemn Paul Ingrassia?
I certainly condemn anything.
Should Trump
anybody
fire Paul Ingrassia?
approximating having a Nazi
I think
streak.
the Republicans just have a problem. I would say the Democratic Party has a problem as well. Whenever you coddle bigots, it's going to come back to haunt you.
Yeah.
And so Republicans, I do.
Rub that in my skin like lotion. Oh. I love that she made that specific call out, and I love even more that she included the Democrats in it too. If you coddle bigots, it will come back to haunt you. Democrats, entire fucking Democrat Party, if you coddle bigots, it will come back to haunt you. Oh, but you can't just exclude people. Yes, you fucking can. You can exclude racists and bigots. You don't need them, you don't want them. Oh, but then, like, you kick people out and they won't, you know, they'll go to the others. Okay. Let enough of the fucking racists and bigots go to the other side, and maybe that'll push the more reasonable people out of that side over to your side. Once they see that moral clarity that Scott Jennings keeps going on about.
Definitely have a decision to make whether or not, you know, having free speech is one thing, but coddling people who would cradle bigotry, nurse bigotry, stand up and clap for bigotry, that is a problem. And so now.
And part of that bigotry is George Soros, you know, George Soros with the George Soros that he did a George Soros with the George Soros.
Now, because the fractions within the Republican Party, which there are some in the Democratic Party too, are having this fight because the promise was that President Donald J. Trump was going to change the material conditions of working class people in the United States of America, and that heretofore has not happened in a way that gives people the relief that they need. And so now you have these people fighting. But bigots are going to bigot. And so leaders have a responsibility. Is Vice President J.D. Vance going to be the vice president for everybody or for certain people?
You know, and I think that, let me just make one point, you know, because I think what Nina is saying is correct. You know, you and many other Republicans, you know, lambasted Democrats for years over allowing actually some anti-Semitism into their party. And now you have Republicans seemingly making the same mistake. Megyn Kelly responded to Ben Shapiro and his criticism of anti-Semites who are associated with Republicans. And she said, Ben is Israel first. She said she understands that Shapiro would consider such a charge anti-Semitic. And she says, and I'm sorry, but his behavior has proven that charge to be correct. Why would you divide the American conservative movement, which was gelling, which was becoming much more cohesive for a moment after Charlie died, over Israel? Well, so she's basically saying, let's let them all in because we were just starting to get a groove together, as opposed to saying it's not okay.
Well, first of all, Ben didn't actually bring up Israel in his speech. It wasn't really about.
She brought it up.
It wasn't really about Israel. So that's number one. Number two, you're very interested in Gracia, who I'm only vaguely familiar with and have never met.
He said he's on a Nazi streak, or he had a Nazi streak.
But we're all familiar with Mamdani. So I'll ask you a similar question. Do you agree with the phrase globalize the Intifada?
No.
Okay, so do you condemn Zoran Mamdani for his failure to condemn people who go around chanting this at his rallies and events?
It's a false equivalence.
Oh, is it? So you want to hold Republicans
Gracia
responsible for Gracia, but not for Mamdani?
Wow.
Quote unquote, I was on a Nazi streak.
Globalize the Intifada. We just saw in Australia, brother. If you can't condemn it today, and if you can't get moral clarity on globalize the Intifada today.
I think Adam Mockler does a great job. You know, he can stand toe-to-toe with these guys, and he gives absolutely as good as he gets and better.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, globalizing the Intifada does sound like a good idea. I mean, to be honest, isn't MAGA calling for an Intifada? We got to take our country back. We got to take it back. Well, you're calling for Intifada.
And I, I love how he triggers Scott Jennings. You know you've gotten under Scott Jennings' skin because he loses that smirking, cool veneer. You know, I think it is a false equivalency. I think they're two very different things. And I think when Nina Turner says we've let anti-Semitism into the Democratic Party, I think that needs to be parsed a little more clearly.
Yeah. That's kind of disingenuous.
I think that there's this conflation that happens between the government of Israel and what is going on and has been going on in Palestine and Gaza with anti-Semitism, like a Nick Fuentes anti-Semitism or a neo-Nazi anti-Semitism. To me, anti-Semitism implies that you are opposed to Jewishness in its totality, right? The Jewish religion, people who identify as being Jews, the state of Israel, whatever, all of it. I think it's crystal clear that you can criticize a government. You can criticize Netanyahu's government in Israel and their actions and the settlements. And certainly there's no shortage of organizations, legitimate organizations around the world that do, without being anti-Semitic. And Netanyahu, primary among them, would say any criticism of the Israeli government is tantamount to anti-Semitism. And that's absurd. I think that's absolutely absurd. So they could do anything. And if you object in any way, you're an anti-Semite, that's patently absurd. Whereas what you're hearing from certain voices on the right is overt neo-Nazism, right? Oh, I was on a little bit of a Nazi streak, or some of the things that Nick Fuentes says is, Tucker Carlson having him on his show, platforming that is welcoming it into the party, and his defense is like, oh, you're gonna blacklist me for, letting alternate voices be heard. I mean, I guess there's alternate voices and then there are alternate voices. So again, back to the box of rats. I mean, you got to be careful who you find yourself in a box with. But let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. There's a lot to cover here, and I'm positive I didn't touch on all of it. So let me know what you think. I mean, I know there are some Adam Mockler fans who watch this show, and there are some Scott Jennings haters who watch this show. But I do like reading your comments and hearing your thoughts. And chime in. Let me know what I missed.
Some sheets, yo. Ordering some fitted sheets. But I mean, he fucking. We're all fucking.
So,
but he covered most of it.
This is like my 10th or 11th take at trying to record this video, and it's driving me nuts because I don't want to do a typical YouTube content creator video where like, oh, I'm leaving YouTube and blah, 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 and it's all like drawn out and crazy. Like, it's not it at all. So we're going to make it easy. I'm just going to let the camera run and whatever I say is said. I don't want to waste your time. I'm going to get straight to the point. This is my last YouTube upload for at least the foreseeable future. I genuinely don't know when I'm going to be able to upload again. Not because something happened or I have burnout and I need a break or anything like that. Legally, I actually have to take a break for a while. For those of you that follow my Twitch streams and my social media and Discord, you probably already knew this was coming and you kind of know what's going on. But if you only follow my YouTube content, then I'll just explain really quick. Because I am getting a work visa in Germany, or have one already, and my family and I are moving there in a few days, legally, I cannot do any other work while I am basically a fresh immigrant in Germany on a work contract. So that means, other than working full-time for Electric Callboy, I can't do anything else. And because my YouTube and Twitch channels are,
crazy.
I guess, fortunately and unfortunately large enough, they count as work if I'm filming and editing and stuff like that. So I cannot do those with the proper visa, which I currently do not have. And it was not something that I could have done before I went there. Long story short, when I get to Germany, I have to apply for a freelance visa for arts and creative stuff. And then I have to go through the whole process with that. And then whenever it gets approved,
As 2025 comes to an end tonight, we have partaken in a wrestling repast as we wind our way to 2026. My name is Tom Campbell from Cultaholic Wrestling, and this is what happened at AEW World's End. On 0 Hour, we saw Hyan and Maya World take on the Sisters of Sin. Julia Hart and Sky Blue kept the underdogs at bay with stereo neckbreakers to the floor and a tarantula dropkick combo. However, Super Maya World's hot tag would turn the tide. It would ultimately be game over when Sky Blue hit a combo uranagi to see the sisters doing it for themselves and getting the win. Tough night for the Liverpool lads as Zach Gibson of the grizzled young veterans took on Eddie Kingston. After getting cut off mid-rant, Gibson landed a distraction-assisted dive onto Kingston's head. Eddie would absorb a shoe-in and further shenanigans from James Drake, but ultimately rally and score the 1-2-3 with the DDT. The GYV would choke out Eddie with their scarves post-match, but a shocking return for Ortiz to the aid of Eddie Kingston would send the veterans fleeing. And with that, a proud and powerful team was formed on 0 Hour. Mark Davis and Rocky Romero took on Mascara Dorada and Bandido in tag action next. The power of Dunkzilla gave the Don Callis boys an early lead, but there was no stopping the Lucha contingent, with Dorada wiping out Davis with a dive and Bandido dropping Romero with the 21-plex for the win. We then got a short and snappy vignette informing us that El Clon is back on AEW Collision in January.
Wow.
Uh-oh. We conclude 0 Hour with Multi-Man Mayhem, Jet Speed and Jurassic Express facing The Demand and Josh Alexander. Ricochet and his boys look to clip the nuts of the dinosaur by attacking Luchasaurus and Jack Perry on the ramp. This left Mike Bailey and Kevin Knight to compete in an impromptu 4-on-2. Jet Speed would get some Perry aid, but it wouldn't be until a bandaged-up Luchasaurus returned from extinction that the momentum would finally shift. A one-arm chokeslam and a running knee from Jack would give the Jurassic Express and Jet Speed the win. Jack Perry pinning the AEW National Champion Ricochet to get it done. World's End opened proper with the Continental Classic Finals. First, IWGP World Heavyweight Champion Konosuke Takeshita took on AEW Unified Champion Kazuchika Okada. The friction between these two Don Callis family members played out with Don Callis himself at the commentary table. A tentative technical start bled into a battle around the barricades outside. Okada took control, calmly working over Takeshita, until Konosuke pulled out a deadlift brainbuster and a gorgeous top-speed tope to shift the momentum, which the crowd were very much into. It took an eye rake for Okada to take control once again. He'd be working the neck of Takeshita, offering a post-elbow drop middle finger to his adversary. An exchange of strikes followed, with Takeshita putting Okada down, countering a Rainmaker with a gorgeous blue Thunder Bomb. Takeshita's running knee was avoided twice, the second time with a German suplex. But Takeshita would turn a Rainmaker attempt into a victory roll for the nearest fall of the night so far. Takeshita would finally land that power drive knee, but it only earned a very close 2. Okada would put out a Raging Fire attempt and, in doing so, would clobber Takeshita with a screwdriver, unbeknownst to the referee, to get the 3 count. Okada disposed of the evidence under the ring before heading up the ramp with Don Callis, on his way once again to the Continental Classic final in controversial fashion this time. The second semi-final saw the proto-star Kyle Fletcher face the leader of the Death Riders, the man who's been tapping more than the Feltham kids in Team GB. Look him up, John Moxley. So. The cheers for Mox are getting a little louder every single week, and this was the case here once again as John headed to the ring. A slow start, kicked into Moxley mode when Kyle started hot-dogging outside the ring. Led to Mox striking at ringside, only to find himself back in the ring, walking into a scoop slam. They would find themselves ringside once again soon after, with Scrappy John getting trapped in the steel steps as Fletcher put a pasting on him. The story from here is John Moxley's injured leg and the pre-match damaged ankle of Moxley too, as Fletcher wore and tore at the wheel of the Death Rider. A desperation cutter and an even more desperate dive gave Mox a break, but Mox catching his knee on the ropes mid-tope seemed to do more harm than good. Fletcher pushed John's buttons one time too many. A lariat off saw Mox eventually put Fletcher down, but he damaged his leg even more in the process. John attempted a stomp on the apron, but Kyle would flinch and follow up with a brain buster on the hardest part of the ring.
The hardest
Mox would just break a count out, but would walk straight into a Liger Bomb and a single leg crab. Fletcher wrenching that bad boy all the way back, which left him open for a bulldog headlock. Kyle would break that and put the grapevine ankle lock onto John Moxley. Desperate to not tap out once again, Mox would fight through the pain and make the ropes to a loud ovation and a huge Moxley chant as well. Mox escaped a superplex by biting Kyle Fletcher and hitting an avalanche cutthroat suplex, which saw Fletcher land directly on his head. A head that ate the canvas with a stomp moments later. Fletcher would recover and bust out a running knee, which Mox powered out of at 1. A sheer drop brainbuster from Fletcher would only yield a 2 count moments later. Fletcher, in desperation, started looking for the screwdriver in the turnbuckle pads that he'd placed earlier in the day. But of course, Okada used it during his match, and he forgot to put it back. Fletcher couldn't cheat, and it ultimately cost him as he ate a paradigm shift and a Death Rider. Despite kicking out, Moxley would then apply the Bulldog strength with a sleeper that gave Moxley the win via stoppage. Fletcher, irate that he didn't tap out, protested to the ref as Moxley soaked in the cheers from the crowd. Kyle was not going quietly. He chop-blocked Moxley one final time, making sure that our John went into the C2 finals with Okada with as dodgy a leg as possible. AEW Tag Team titles on the line next. It's FTR versus the Bang Bang Gangs, Juice Robinson and Austin Gunn. Chicago street fight style.
So maybe you didn't
This
go
went
babyface
out of bounds
yet.
almost immediately, with Cash and Gunn battling with a bin on the ramp as Dax and Juice let loose in front of the crowd. Stokely set up a table at ringside, which Juice attempted to put Dax through, but to no avail. I'm sure we'll come back to it. An FTR demolition combo with a bin didn't wield the 3 count, with Juice saving Gunn from a spiked piledriver and hitting a gnarly frog splash moments later to see the Bang Bang Gang bang in again briefly until Cash sent Gunn crashing into the steps and Dax clobbered Juice with the tag team title. Gunn came back swinging when he blocked a kendo stick with his backpack bin lid armor, but got too eager with turtle power action and ended up crashing over the Spanish announce table. FTR go 2-on-1 on Juice with his leg being mangled by a steel chair. A one-legged Robinson does his best, but is overwhelmed by Cash and Dax and lock him tight into a figure 4. Gunn's attempt to save with a fire extinguisher is put out by Cash Wheeler, driving him through a table with a tope. And when Juice can't stop the hold with a rope break because, you know, Chicago street fight, he can and does break it with a fire extinguisher. Big Stoke broke up Juice's pinfall attempt moments later, and then he beat a retreat before Juice could end him with a steel chair.
Yeah,
Robinson took out Dax and Cash with the chair and attempted to put Stokely through the table outside, only for Big Stoke to fly over the table instead. Yikes. A shatter machine connected, but Gunn broke the cover to give the Bang Bang Gang one final flurry, with Austin managing to kick out of a piledriver onto a bin, but unable to do so after 2 spiked piledrivers, the second onto an AEW World Tag Team title belt. Mind broken and body broken, Gunn and Robinson put up a valiant effort, but FTR are still number 1. The Women's World Tag Team Championships up next, with Athena and Mercedes Moné against the champs, the Babes of Wrath. Moné ate the wrath of the Babes early on. Athena attempted to stop the Rots with a dive, but she would eat a pounce from Willow to keep the challengers on the back foot. That stopped when Moné pulled Harley's hair from the corner, leading to a lung blower backstabber combo. Harley is kept farly from Willow, isolated in the challenger's quarter until a desperation DDT gave her a window to let the Nightingale in. After a flurry, Willow was overpowered by Athena with a German suplex and an attempted Dominator knee strike move. Couldn't quite get a purchase on the champ, could Athena? She got cocky, and then it got rocky. A pounce by Willow and a hot tag to Harley Cameron followed. Willow double power bombs the challengers, and Cameron double crossbodies and then double crucifixes them for good measure. Athena eats soul food, but Moné saves them, leading to Athena rolling into an O-face onto Cameron. Moné gets the statement maker onto Willow, which Willow reversed with a Death Valley driver. From here, the game falls apart for the challengers as Athena accidentally strikes Moné, and Moné accidentally strikes Athena. Willow's offense is halted by a superplex powerbomb combo, and Athena dropping Moné onto Willow for a fall only broken by the returning Harley Cameron. The end comes when Moné goes for the Moneymaker on Willow. Willow has felt this move many times before, and she is ready. She turns it into a very unique pinfall to get the 3 count for the champs, and they retain for the first time on pay-per-view. A dejected Mercedes Moné got chewed out by Athena post-match as the Babes of Wrath celebrated with some wonderful signs in the front row. Darby Allin time. A video plays of Darby hanging out in an ice hotel, accompanied by footage of him getting bodied and of animals decomposing. Yum yum. It's Darby Allin versus Death Rider's mercenary, Gabe Kidd. It starts hot with Allin drop kicking and entering Kidd as Gabe hurls Darby into the steel steps in response. Darby battled back with a dive before Gabe Kidd recklessly hurled him over the timekeeper's table and recklessly catapulted his head through the steel steps. This was all done recklessly. Darby gets bloodied as Kidd continued the onslaught, even tasting Darby's blood as he does. Darby would return the favour, don't worry. After busting Kidd open with a chair, Allin was chomping on Kidd's face too. Kidd recovered and just brutalized Darby with strikes and bites. Darby gave as good as he got before dropping Gabe with an avalanche code red and following up with a coffin drop in the ring and out of the ring as well. Gabe kicked out at 2, but Darby followed it up immediately with a Scorpion Death Drop and a Scorpion Death Lock. Cue Kidd giving us a modern-day Steve Austin visual before Darby Allin slumped forward, unable to keep the move on. This gave Kidd an opening to land a set of headbutts, a teeth-rattling lariat, and a jumping piledriver for a near fall. As Kidd began biting on Darby's head once again, Allen managed to roll back into a pinning combo to get a very sudden 3 count. Darby does it. Kidd is irate, and Allen is knackered. A proper bloodbath here at World's End. Mixed Nuts Mayhem! It's the Death Riders versus the Conglomeration, Roderick Strong, and Timeless Tony Storm. Everybody breaks off around the ring to start because it's tornado rules. With Storm and Marina Shafir having an early showdown, we see Mark Briscoe and Wheelie Yuta get amongst it, as do Claudio Castagnoli and Roderick Strong, and then Daniel Garcia and Orange Cassidy. Cassidy puts Garcia down before a pockets-based kickoff between Cassidy and Shafir breaks out. As Orange teases a big dive out of the ring, Wheelie Yuta and Claudio, and then eventually all the Death Riders put the squeeze on Freshly Squeezed. Then they all do the same to Roddy Strong, with Shafir leading the strikes on her own husband. Briscoe attempted to turn the tide, but he pulled his punch when he went to strike Shafir, and he got a similar pasting that the other two got. Finally, Tony Storm returned to the ring, where she was able to hip attack Shafir from it. Tony and Mark Briscoe would double boulder shoulder Cesaro before Cassidy and Storm would dance their way briefly into control of the match. That is before Shafir and Tony once more found each other. Throughout this, the Death Riders are the most consistent unit, overwhelming the other teammates one at a time. Cue Tony Storm to stop Daniel Garcia and Wheelie Yuta's offense by peeling out German suplexes on Garcia and Yuta and landing a tornado DDT on Claudio too. This would just anger Claudio, who would big swing Tony out of the ring before Roddy wiped him out with a knee strike. We get a brief exchange with Roddy and his wife Marina, leaving Briscoe to drop a J-Driller on Wheelie Yuta for the win. The Babes of Wrath, Mina Shirakawa, and Luther would all come to the ring to celebrate alongside the victors. What a goofy bit of silly comedy wrestling fun here at the end of the world. After this, we go backstage where Mercedes Moné is having the mother of all strops. She smashes a mirror. That is 7 years bad luck. And then she promises that she is going to kick the effing ass of Willow Nightingale on Dynamite New Year's Smash. And then she goes back to her locker room and does some more screaming. With the opening grapples, Hater drive Hater into the commentary table, punch their way back to their feet with Stats spitting in Hater's face and landing Haterade. That's Jamie. Do this one again. So we come to the finals of the Continental Classic. It's Kazuchika Okada versus Jon Moxley. Okada offers a handshake. Jon Moxley offers a middle finger. Let's see how you like it, Okada. After the first lockup, Okada does indeed give Mox the middle finger in response himself. Fret not, middle finger fans. We do get another Okada middle finger. Tekkers to start, and just as Okada goes for Moxley's leg, Mox rolls out of the ring to save himself. He saves himself from another leg snatch by grabbing the ropes, and soon after, another by gouging Okada's eye. This is the story of the match. His wheel was bad going in, and it's not getting better. Okada is ruthless, picking the ankle and wrenching the foot any chance he can, with Mox scratching tooth and claw to get out of it.
Like
Mox gets knocked off the top rope and catches his foot on the way down, causing even more damage. Okada keeps on, hitting a shin breaker on the steel steps to Mox, and Jon is in a world of trouble. Okada gets a figure 4 variation on as well. Mox is able to headbutt his way out to stay alive just a little bit longer. This lopsided affair continues with Okada taking his sweet ass time. Okada lands a diving elbow and flips off Mox, which brings Mox back to life, and he comes close to breaking Okada's finger before landing a desperation lariat. Jon Moxley takes the lead briefly, but Okada would keep putting the fire out and going back to the leg of Moxley. Somehow Mox would push through, coming close to a 3 with a pile driver and close to a submission with a bulldog choke. However, Okada would weather it and hit a low blow behind the ref's back, followed by a rainmaker, but it would only garner a 2 count. The only rain right now are chants raining down for Moxley, and let's go Moxley, as Okada grabs the unified title to use as a weapon. As the ref takes possession of the title back to stop Okada from cheating, Mox lands a return low blow to Okada to get back into the mix. Both trade big moves and big reverses, with Mox applying the Bulldog choke once again. Okada tries to reverse into a Rainmaker, but Mox reverses into a Rainmaker of his own. But Okada kicks out at 1. Mox follows up with the Stomp and the Death Rider to get the 3 count and become the new AEW Continental Champion. The Death Riders hit the ring to celebrate with Mox as Tony Schiavone steps into the ring to speak to the winner of the Continental Classic. Mox gives plaudits to all the locker room, declaring they will continue to give everything every day, saying there's no professional wrestling like AEW. A very different Moxley to a year ago, with Excalibur opining that maybe the Continental Classic tournament was just what he needed. It is main event o'clock, a 4-way for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. It's Swerve Strickland in a Green Lantern-themed attire, Hangman Adam Page.
Yeah, but he's also got the kill shot.
MJF with a selection of ladies and a Codevator for his entrance, and reigning champion Samoa Joe. The bell sounds and Swerve squares off with MJF while Joe squares off with Page. Hangers is banging. He takes MJF out of the ring until Joe gets back in and starts dominating. The new beefy Swerve squares off in the ring with MJF, who's taking great joy in hot dogging and grandstanding over Swerve. We see Strickland get his pound of flesh from MJF, and Hangman almost get a concussion from a moonsault to the outside on everybody. We get special versions of signature moves, with Swerve landing a Swerve Stomp off the apron to the floor on MJF, and Hangman Page landing a buckshot lariat off the back of Swerve onto Samoa Joe. The crowd go wild as one of AEW's greatest rivalries gets rolled back with an exciting flurry between Hangman Adam Page and Swerve Strickland, ending with Swerve hitting the Deadeye on Page. That's Page's move. Page avoids a house call but lands a buckshot that could have been 3 had Joe not turned up to Tower of Doom powerbomb Swerve and Page into MJF. Joe looks to muscle bust Swerve, but Strickland pops out and drops MJF in one beautiful motion before German suplexing Joe and hitting a powerbomb power slam combo for a 2 count. MJF tries to re-enter the match, but once more gets pinballed out moments before Page lands angel wings and a pop-up powerbomb onto Swerve for more near falls. We get a flurry from MJF when he finally gets back into the match. He throws Swerve into Joe and hits a launching cutter and salt of the earth onto Hangman. Joe puts Swerve in the Kikita clutch, and MJF is forced to break Salt of the Earth in order to stop Joe from getting the submission win. MJF falls victim to the clutch moments later, but Swerve breaks it up with a house call before MJF's arm could drop for possibly a 3rd time.
Wow.
From here, Swerve and Page briefly form an alliance to drop MJF and Joe before kicking each other in the face to see all 4 men fall down. The Ops insert themselves into the match here, Powerhouse Hobbs, Hook, and Shibata taking out MJF and Swerve and feeding Page to Joe for a muscle buster, but Page kicks out at 2. Hook argues with the ref, who attempts to remove the Ops from ringside. We see Swerve wipe out Hobbs and Shibata with a Swerve Stomp when they attempt to hurt Prince Nana, whilst Hangman goes for Hook, only to fall into the clutches of the Kikita clutch at the hands of Joe. Enter Swerve to stomp Joe to release the hold. From here, the Ops get moved on as Samoa Joe recovers. His attempt at a superplex turns into a Swerve powerbomb, and as Swerve goes for the stomp, MJF appears to throw him off the top. Enter Hangman Page to hoof MJF off the top and land 1 buckshot lariat, 2 buckshot lariats, a 3rd to seal the deal, gets stopped by a low blow from MJF, who follows up by hitting Joe with a heat seeker and getting the 1, 2, 3. And with that, MJF becomes the new AEW World Heavyweight Champion. And that is how the show ends.
Thanks. My people are just behind you. We've got a team pinned down in the hangar with your Marines.
Terminal secure behind us. Get the wounded to safety.
Medic! Be okay. Oh. Over here! We have incoming enemies! Let's go!
Let's move.
Set them! 12 o'clock! Get guns on them! We're pushing through! Keep after them!
Code 3, he needs air! That pressure's too much! Justin Ryan!
Everybody in one piece?
Good to go, Ethan. You?
Full steam, sir. Earth's in trouble if we don't take back that cargo port.
Can two capital ships hold this airspace, sir? Negative. They need air support.
One step at a time. Let's get the captain a weapon. Where do you keep your ordnance?
Armory, just up ahead. Follow me.
All Bravo! Alpha's on the north side of the hangar. What's your status?
Moving your way, Actual. Rendezvous on your order.
Copy. Out.
This is our arsenal. Take anything you need.
Thank you, Guardsman.
Shotguns and LMGs. Right on time.
Captain, these shock grenades are very effective against the bots.
Yeah, keep those away from me, will you, sir? There's an upgrade terminal here, too, Captain.
Shotgun and LMG. Gonna need both, Reyes.
I'm good. Let's get moving.
Open it up, trooper. This is a counter-assault on the base. Let's get out there. Lock it up. Alpha's en route, Bravo. Hold on.
Got Allied troops in contact up here.
Brooks, Katrina, what's your status?
Taking heavy fire.
We're at your 6, coming to reinforce.
Spots on the lower deck. Use the shot grenade. jacks with our names on them. Get that unlocked, Trooper.
Roger, LT.
Let's get in there, Reyes. You got clearance for launch prep?
I do, ma'am.
Fire us up for send-off.
What's your course of action?
We're gonna board a SETDEF capital ship and take it down. Ground phase of this operation is over, Sergeant. Scars are going airborne. Time to earn your wings.
You got some spine, Captain. My guys, hold this rock. We'll send your exfil.
Let's get that elevator moving.
Check. What are my orders, Captain? Following with us, Ethan. Yes, sir. Omar, you're with Salter. Ethan, you're up with me.
Say no drill, Captain. Leave the bot. Take a Marine.
I've chosen my team, Sergeant.
Appreciate the confidence, sir.
Let's get off the ground.
Nozzles are good, engine's good. Coast Guard's getting overrun.
Tigers needs air intervention.
One step at a time, boys. We secure the base, then we assist Tiger.
Roger. Go for launch. Only way we're holding this board is reclaiming air superiority. Let's clean this up and drive SETDEF out of this airspace.
Bogey, port side.
Bogey down.
2 down.
Is that all?
Let's stay on them. We're pushing them back.
They have reinforcements. Stay sharp.
Their missiles are guided. Coast Guard jacks aren't set up for this. Tigers, we need something to even the playing field.
Missile supply drone ready. Mark your position for delivery. Scar 1-1, mark your position for supply drone delivery. Position marked. Supply drone inbound.
Scars, hit 'em with your missiles.
Bogey, 10 o'clock.
Tower 4 lost all its turrets. Axel, what's your status?
Sweep it up. Base is almost clear.
Got him.
2 more left. Let's X them out and go help Tigers. Almost there.
Missiles loose. Gunships.
Scars, we got Ajax in the battle zone. Engage those gunships.
Target 7 o'clock.
All teams, fire on those gunships. Target their weapon systems.
Watch the flag. Keep moving. Heads up.
Incoming missile.
Well done. The port is secure, Captain.
Affirmative. Scars, RV for orbital launch.
Copy that. Let's climb. Reyes, we're in position, holding for you.
Good work, Marines. Get a transport set. We'll link up at Retribution.
Copy that, Star Sergeant. Good luck up there, LT.
Raider, Tigris is taking port engine damage. Request immediate support.
Actual Raiders inbound to board and disable enemy warship. Stand by.
What's your infill plan, Captain?
We'll bail out over the port side bow and 0G to the bridge.
Once aboard, we'll shut down the bridge and have combat systems.
Copy. After shut down, we exit through the cargo bay.
Affirmative. Tigris engages when we're clear. Eyes on. Tigris, we're visual.
Copy visual. Covering fire.
Follow me in, Raider.
On you, Fever.
Watch your flag!
I see it. Coast Guard Jack is down.
Rockzone's coming up.
Going down in 3, 2, 1. Go, go, go!
1, 2, away!
One is away.
Let's do this, sir.
Let's get there.
Transport inbound.
Reinforcements! You're getting too close!
Actual, we need suppression on these scouts.
Copy. We're on them.
Keep pushing.
12 o'clock.
Eyes on target. Reloaded.
Zone is clear. Here's our infill.
Copy. Tigris, we are exterior of the bridge, preparing to breach. Force in, let's go! Staff Sergeant, cover the exit. Ethan, shut down primary weapons.
Aye, sir.
Salt, scope the windows.
Activating gravity.
I'll get the CO's card.
Let's secure the cargo, Captain.
Tigris actual, primary weapons down, moving to secondary.
Roger that.
Down the elevator shaft, go!
Have combat controls close.
Check fire. I don't know where you are. Combat controls through here. One deck down.
Copy. Get it open.
Gauges down. Enemies have not been located. Roger. Command coordinate. Search.
Let him up! Good work, Ethan. Shut down secondary weapons.
Check. Neo's card opens the board, Captain. Patching in now, Captain.
Weapons are locked off. Let's go.
Sir, I found something else.
Looks like enemy warship positions. Can you pull it?
Already downloaded, sir.
Solid. Let's go. Tigris actual. Weapons are down. Moving to exfil.
Staff Sergeant, take us out.
Last work. Grab the civil surgeon.
Scar team, be advised. Ares is spooling
control room. Move out.
We got their attention.
Tigress actual, weapons are down, moving to exfil.
Staff Sergeant, take us out.
Scar team, be advised. Ares is spooling to jump from the combat zone. Get your team off that ship now, Captain.
How much time have we got?
3 minutes.
Tigress actual, go weapons free.
Roger. Danger close. Danger close.
Through the doors, go! Hold up!
On you, Ray.
Go.
Actual, Ares jump is imminent. We can't hold back any longer.
Back.
Let's push to the control room. Move out.
Think we got their attention. Clear the hole.
Squad, clock's ticking down. We gotta move.
We've been cleared to the control room.
Depressurizing. Grab hold. Tigress, we need birds.
Copy. Sending jackals.
Set. Turn to bird. Tigress, scars are clear.
Copy clear. Engaging. Weapons loose.
Hell yeah.
Put effect on target.
Mission accomplished, Tigress. Scar flight is Oscar Mike.
Stratcom has cleared Tigers to proceed with tasking outside this AO. No doubt our paths will cross again. We're all there is to keep the enemy away from home. Fly safe, Captain Reyes.
Thank you, Captain Farron.
Captain Reyes, priority dispatch from the Admiral.
Roger, patch it.
Yes, sir. Here it comes.
Commander Reyes, Stratcom decrypted a fleet transmission from Admiral Koch's broadcast 6 hours before the attack.
Roger, Admiral. Go ahead.
Today, the front embarks on a conquest. Here and now, we will eradicate the authority and influence of the Earth.
Game just broke.
Oh yeah, it broke. try this again.
Stratcom decrypted a fleet transmission from Admiral Koch's broadcast 6 hours before the attack.
Roger, Admiral. Go ahead.
Today, the front embarks on a conquest. Here and now, we will eradicate the authority and influence of the Earth. Our world is just beginning. Theirs is dying. It is not enough to break free. We will break them. Their cities will burn along with the pages of their history. Mars eternal.
Captain, they won't stop until they take our world. This may be our last stand.
Understood, sir.
Ship repair updates for you, sir. Hangar deck is back online.
Good news.
Well, it's out and off the Russian report right away.
Ethan, accompany Sergeant Omar, assist him with the AAR.
Yes, sir. I've got it well in there, Captain.
No doubt you do. You've got your orders, Ethan.
Yes, I do, sir.
Little forced FaceTime for those two, huh? Shame to miss that.
My money's on Omar.
Yeah, I got Ethan.
You boarded an enemy airship?
Cannot confirm or deny that, boss.
I'll take that as a yes.
Take that as a hell yes.
Making all kinds of history today.
Let's get upstairs, Reyes. See what we got. A couple ways this plays out.
Tell me.
Well, we hold them back with these tag team tactical ops.
Or?
Or, SetDef cuts us off with a blockade and we never see home again.
We'll get home again, Saul.
I know.
Captain, Lieutenant, news reports coming on about the Gateway battle if you want to join us.
I'll pass. No news is good news.
Telling you, the captain was on that ship.
Grab a seat, get settled.
Inbound to the bows or
It's gonna be good, man.
hope SetDef is watching.
To hell with them!
Quiet, what's coming on?
Reclaim the Moon Gateway Harbor from the Settlement Defense Front. The Gateway Complex is the Earth's primary cargo, commerce, and passenger terminal. A joint operation between Gateway Coast Guard Defense Forces and Special Operations groups, including the Navy's elite SCAR team and UNSA Marines, forced the
SCAR
SetDef into
team
a
all day.
full-scale
Go
retreat.
Navy!
For UNSA Armed Forces Media,
They got their
this is
asses
Renee
handed
Sam
to
in
them.
New Jersey.
Hoorah! USA! Go Red! Go Tigers!
It's gonna be a long day, Fever.
Yeah, 6 on, 12 off ain't gonna cut it today, Raider.
Captain has the con.
Helm, come left, steer course 270.
Aye, sir.
What's the update on that intel?
Mac, a little show and tell?
Whenever the captain's ready. Captain, engineering and bridge sifted through Ethan's hack from the seizure. It's a gold mine, sir.
What do we got here?
That's Rhett and Tigress. The others are SetDef.
Those are enemy tubs.
Each SDF ship tracks every other in its fleet. Now, we've pinpointed some of their positions. We could assault at your discretion, sir. New targets of opportunity on radar, Captain. Tracking 4 enemy vessels. Where shall we engage, sir? Triads indicate targets of opportunity. We should select one, Captain. On your orders, Commander.
Stratcom has intel that an SDF leadership conference is scheduled in the Kuiper Belt. 4 destroyers are meeting to transfer HVTs to the Icarius. We'll get ourselves aboard and take out the HVTs. This one's just you and me, Saul. Full stealth.
Roger that. Let's do this.
Good work, Chief. We can use every edge.
Oh, I understand. I once stood in your shoes, Commander.
You were a captain, Mac? Why'd you give up your commission?
I committed the mortal sin that can break a commander in two. I cared.
We all care, Chief.
Ordering men into battle isn't for everyone. So the machines are now in my hands, and we're all in yours, Captain.
Got a full inventory for you, Captain. I'll be giving you suppressed weapons for obvious reasons. SetDef uses bots for security. Hacks and shock grenades could be useful. Granny's got the firing range up and running. Feel free to try out anything that catches your eye.
Oh, shit. So that's the one I'm supposed to use. I get it, though. I get it. Oh, shit. Seems cool to me.
Good hunt, you two.
It's in way better shape than it was.
Captain. Soldiers already rigged up, sir. Solar winds should be steady. Good hunting, Captain.
Roger. Let's hit it.
Warren's tower advises limited movement on target for low radar profile. Check.
Copy.
Scars, you are green to go.
Roger. Send it.
Launch in 3, 2, 1.
Oxygen's at 36%.
They should have been here by now. Got 30 more mics on the comms blackout to red.
We're still bingo on life support. Let's stay put.
Roger. Standing by for enemy movement.
There she is.
Copy. Target confirmed. SDF Icarius overhead.
Dry dock hatchways our ingress.
Raj, keep tight to the hull.
I'll get us in.
Copy. The Keel relay is just ahead. I can guide you to the meeting from there.
Check.
Plant this in the vent system and we'll shut down life support. So far, we're undetected. Let's keep it that way. This is it. I'll patch in and locate the meeting while you get the uniform.
Copy. I'll check in from crew quarters.
Careful, you got a hostile nearby. Check your HUD for tracking data.
Sector is secure.
You have a signal for a pause data on 5
checkpoint.
Copy. Alert level's normal.
Over the
They've got no idea we're here.
Severe destruction.
Icaria will be deployed in the next attack.
Have you been briefed?
The Council has chosen our ship for today's conference. When they choose the targets, we'll go about.
I've prepared my whole life for this moment. I had remorse standing idle as our kindred died in honor on foreign ground.
Yes, regrettable if the war was over before we have our chance to shed foul Earthborn blood.
Master Turner.
What the?
Barracks clear.
Enemy comms are quiet. No alerts. You're still dark.
Let's keep it that way. Uniform acquired. What's the sitrep?
3 HVTs have transferred to the Icaria. The meeting's about to start. You'll need credentials to get near the conference. I've marked a target you can pull an ID from.
Copy. Send it.
Inbound enemy contact bearing 247, range 125 and closing. Copy all. Try the remaining thrusters. Require compensation vector on all targets. Call contacts to all battery units.
Don't shoot. The uniform will keep you hidden.
Ordnance control last night.
Any idea where we're being tossed?
I don't think they know yet. That's what the meeting's about. There's multiple operations.
Good stealth. Chatter's clean.
Count them like spawn. Give them no rest.
I'm in. Target visual.
Something?
Copy. Try and isolate. If you go loud, I'll jam comms till you're clear.
Recounted to me from the ship at Cartan. Ares was a weapons malfunction after negating two NSA ships over the Gateway. Our destroyer was defenseless in a ship that would not Titans strike. You have information? Declare.
You're clear to leave wood. All combat personnel report to CIC. Clear channel for
Impossible! That cannot be done! Airspeed!
Target down.
Who's there?
Where's your operating ID?
Take him.
explosion in munitions could cause a reaction down the line.
We're fire teams and guardsmen.
Got the ID. Override live scan for Class 2 Officer Negretti.
You believe this?
On it. Meeting's underway in the war room. Time to hustle.
There is no official report. We are not permitted to speak of it.
So far, so good. You're under the radar. Tempting to
Need something?
I'm looking it up now. Last check was in the office. And the signal said Happy's team to deal with it. I'll transfer the authorization to you.
ID override's good to go. Almost there, Raider.
Where's your operating ID?
Forces have been dispatched to the barracks. They may have found your kills.
Copy.
Ready when you are, Reyes. Let's shut down their life support.
Atmosphere and gravity controls prepped.
Copy. Get out clean.
I'm down. Cut off life support.
Venting now.
Copy, moving to secondary. Fever. Rated to fever, how copy? Comply. Coming to you, Saul. They got hostiles with me. Salter, I'm behind him. Soldier clear. It's me.
I hate that uniform. I set the beacon for the red.
Let's get to the exfil.
On you.
Retribution, this is actual. Do you copy?
No response on the beacon either.
Copy, Gator. Get birds in here.
Multiple hostiles headed your way.
Engaging.
11 o'clock!
Attack's approaching now, sir.
10 o'clock!
Captain, your jackals are on station.
Copy, visual.
Wait up, Reyes!
We need those skeletons cleared off the retribution.
Gator, spool up for drop. Scarves will clean up the AO.
Star 2, you heard the captain. You are free to engage. Two more inbound. Check low.
Almost clear, Gator. Scar 2, RTB, we're out.
Let's go wheels down, man.
We're on approach. Roger.
Line up for drone assist, Captain.
Here's out
We need you on the retribution. Long is good, 1-1. Welcome back.
Captain, Lieutenant, news report is coming on about Geneva.
I'll hang back. News is bullshit.
Make sure the captain can see.
Intense fighting in Geneva has subsided as Sato troops defend the UNSA capital against invading separate defense forces. Fires still blurred.
Quiet!
The result of a surprise attack launched against the Sato fleet. Mandatory evacuations are underway as several small pockets of fighting are ongoing here in the city. The STRATCOM spokesman was quoted as saying, "Our orbital defenses are intact and the fleet is holding strong."
Fleet is
keeping
holding
the enemy
strong?
on the run.
Fleet.
This is Renee Sayon in New Delhi.
It's propaganda BS. Same shit, different form.
Grapes are fueling them up. Starting to grow.
Let's keep this on a tight loop and get back out there, Reyes. Captain on the bridge.
You don't have to say that.
I enjoy it.
Captain Azakon.
Raven 1 docking?
They're touching down now, man.
Good. Station time, 1 minute. Roger that.
This is a classified briefing regarding the POW apprehended in Geneva. After using our ATIS guns against our fleet, the operative known as Raya attempted to destroy the entire ATIS system. This would have left Earth vulnerable to aerial attack. At this time, it's unclear if the guns can be destroyed from another location. I'll keep you posted on any and all developments. Top Cat out.
Today, the front embarks on a conquest. Here and now, we will eradicate the authority and influence of the Earth. Our world is just beginning. Theirs is dying. It is not enough to break free. We will break them. Their cities will burn along with the pages of their history. Mars Eternal.
Clashes on the lunar surface have come to an end as Sato forces reclaim the Moon Gateway harbor from the settlement defense front. The Gateway complex is the Earth's primary cargo, commerce, and passenger terminal. A joint operation between Gateway Coast Guard Defense Forces and Special Operations groups, including the Navy's elite SCAR team and UNSA Marines, forced the SETDEF into a full-scale retreat. For UNSA Armed Forces Media, this is Renee Sam in New Delhi. Intense fighting in Geneva has subsided as Sato troops defend the UNSA capital against invading settlement defense forces. Fires still burn from the charred remains of warships, the result of a surprise attack launched against the Sato fleet. Mandatory evacuations are underway as several small pockets of fighting are ongoing here in the city. A STRATCOM spokesman was quoted as saying, "Our orbital defenses are intact and the fleet is holding strong, keeping the enemy on the run." This is Renee Sayan in New Delhi.